It is just turning 2:21 p.m. on March 9th, 2021. The name of the book is Other People's Money and How the Bankers Use It by Louis D. Brandeis. Chapter 6. Where the Banker is Superfluous. Page 109. The abolition of interlocking directorates will greatly curtail the banker's power by putting an end to many improper combinations. Publicity concerning bankers' commissions, profits, and associates will lend effective aid, particularly by curbing undue exactions. Many of the specific measures recommended by the Peugeot Committee, some of them dealing with technical details, will go far toward correcting corporate and banking abuses, and thus tend to arrest financial concentration. But the investment banker has, within his legitimate province, acquired control so extensive as to menace the public welfare, even where his business is properly conducted. If the new freedom is to be attained, every proper means of lessening that power must be availed of. A simple and effective remedy, which can be widely applied even without new legislation, lies near at hand. Eliminate the banker middleman where he is superfluous. Today, practically all governments, states, and municipalities pay toll to the banker on all bonds sold. Why should they? It is not because the banker is always needed. It is because the banker controls the only avenue through which the investor in bonds and stocks can ordinarily be reached. The banker has become the universal tax gatherer. True, the pro rata of taxes levied by him upon our state and city governments is less than that levied by him upon the corporations. But few states or cities escape payment of some such tax to the banker on every loan it makes. Even where the new issues of bonds are sold at public auction or to the highest bidder on sealed proposals, bankers' syndicates usually secure large blocks of the bonds, which are sold to the people at a considerable profit. The middleman, even though unnecessary, collects his tribute. There is a legitimate field for dealers in state and municipal bonds, as for other merchants. Investors already owning such bonds must have a medium through which they can sell their holdings. And those states or municipalities which lack an established reputation among investors, or which must seek more distant markets, need the banker to distribute new issues. But there are many states and cities which have an established reputation and have a home market at hand. These should sell their bonds direct to investors without the intervention of a middleman. And as like conditions prevail with some corporations, their bonds and stocks should also be sold direct to the investor. Both financial efficiency and industrial liberty demand that the banker's toll be abolished where that is possible. The next section is entitled Banker and Broker. The business of the investment banker must not be confused with that of the bond and stock broker. The two are often combined, but the functions are essentially different. The broker performs a very limited service. He has properly nothing to do with the original issue of securities, nor with their introduction into the market. He merely negotiates a purchase or sale as agent for another under specific orders. He exercises no discretion except in the method of bringing buyer and seller together or of executing orders. For his humble service, he receives a moderate compensation, a commission usually 1/8 of 1%, 12.5 cents for each $100, on the par value of the securities sold. The investment banker also is a mere middleman. But he is a principal, not an agent. He is also a merchant in bonds and stocks. The compensation received for his part in the transaction is, in many cases, more accurately described as profit than as commission. So far as concerns new issues of government, state, and municipal bonds, especially, he acts as merchant, buying and selling securities on his own behalf. Buying commonly at wholesale from the maker and selling at retail to the investors, taking the merchant's risk and the merchant's profits. On purchases of corporate securities, the profits are often very large. But even a large profit may be entirely proper, for when the banker's services are needed and are properly performed, they are of great value. On purchases of government, state, and municipal securities, the profit is usually smaller, but even a very small profit cannot be justified if unnecessary. It ends about 2/3 of the way down on page 112. This book is a reproduction of the original printing, reproduced in 2009, but the original printing, as I understand it, was originally from 1914. I'm going to stop this and then I'm going to make one more video.